Federation of Uganda Employers is a special fraternity of employers in Uganda which strives to promote best human resource practices and ensuring compliance with the labor laws among its core responsibilities. This includes, though not limited to, elimination of child labor at the workplace and by extension outside the workplace. Federation of Uganda Employers has been involved in the fight against child labor since 1999 with support from International Labour Organization. The Federation strongly believes that education and social dialogue are powerful tools which can be used for the elimination of child labor in all its forms in order to preserve the future labor force for this country. One of the Federation of Uganda Employers' intervention is a project titled Employers' Initiative in Eliminating Hazardous Child Labor in Tobacco Growing through Social Dialogue in Omoro and Gulu districts.
The main aim of this project is to contribute to the elimination of the worst forms of child labor, not only in Omoro district, but in Uganda as a whole. And we are looking at two main objectives. Our first objective is to make sure that the farmers' capacities are enhanced on how to participate in social dialogue. And then we are also looking at sensitizing the farmers, the trade unions, the workers, and other employers on the ILO Conventions 138, 182, and 184.
In partnership with Alliance One Company, tobacco lead farmers in Omoro and Gulu districts were identified.
We conducted a social mapping exercise that brought 30 lead farmers, and out of the 30 lead farmers, we were linked to other 300 farmers who will play a complementary role in eliminating child labor in tobacco growing. We are also sensitizing these farmers on how to monitor child labor activities in tobacco farms and also to report them to the local authorities.
This is Pochwater Walter Charles. He is one of the tobacco lead farmers identified by the Federation of Uganda Employers.
I've started growing tobacco when the BAT pulled away from the union. When I was very young, I haven't married, so I've started growing tobacco. So from there until now, I'm doing it. The hectare I'm having is 40, because I have another field down there. So it's about 40 acres. But I grow them bit by bit.
The selected lead tobacco farmers are provided both farm support in terms of agricultural inputs as well as extension information services. This is intended to ensure realization of maximum qualitative tobacco farm production.
We do enterprise selection and profitability analysis of various crop enterprises, and based on that, farmers make up an informed decision to grow tobacco, and when they come up with an informed decision to grow tobacco, we request them to present documentation for registration. We issue those farmers with inputs that ranges from seeds, certified seeds, fertilizer, agrochemicals, and also we provide extensions to our farmers on how to grow tobacco. Why do we offer extension to our farmers? Because our product is demand-based. We have a customer requirement, so all the tobacco we grow should conform to our customer requirement. That is the product integrity. When we issue them inputs, we give them extension after growing, we provide them with transport during marketing time, and we expect farmers to have quality tobacco. They sell, recover the company's loan, and then they go with the proceeds. So
Joseph Ekanyu is the coordinator of Agricultural Labor Practices Program at Alliance One Tobacco Company. Agricultural Labor Practices Program has got 7 principles that include child labor, income and work hours, safe working environment, forced labor, fair treatment, freedom of association and compliance with the law.
Our partnership with the Federation of Uganda Employers, who are basically dealing on child labor. And child labor in tobacco is a very serious issue. And our measurable standard under the ALP program is no child labor in tobacco.
The lead tobacco farmers identified have been instrumental in playing a complementary role in the prevention of hazardous child labor.
The children are not allowed to come and work in the field. That's one major effect. Because if you bring a child, when the thing is during morning time, the children always catch up with that disease. So even not only that one, we have been taught by Federation of Uganda employees that we need to control child labor, because if you bring a child to work in tobacco, you are burdening him or her from going to school. So we don't bring children to work in the tobacco. That's why you found us all the big people only working. All of them have gone to school.
Accordingly, farmers that use child labor are penalized and risk rejection of their tobacco products.
We are being supervised by the LTs. If the LTs, lead technicians, find that you are using a child, you just make a recommendation within your book, this past book. Even the manager, if he comes, he finds that by this time, if he has found us with the children in the field, would have written in my book. So they will judge during registration. Because you don't follow the government laws and the company laws, then he will reject to recruit you to dig. So you must be very careful with that one.
With respect to capacity building, workshops for tobacco farmers and stakeholders were conducted. This enhanced their capacity to participate in social dialogue on elimination of child labor in tobacco growing.
We are also teaching them or training them on how to apply occupational good practices, how do they apply these fertilizers, and at what time do they do this. When they are doing this, they are not supposed to involve children, and they are not supposed to involve the pregnant mothers.
The Federation of Uganda Employers, in partnership with Alliance One, ensure that tobacco farmers comply with occupational safety and health standards.
Protective gear, it helps us not to get any sickness, like a green tobacco sickness and others. We have the gloves, the hat, the mask, and then you put on the trousers, all trousers up to down with the gumboots.
We train farmers, we sensitize farmers on safety. All our farmers are provided with personal protective equipment. This means every farmer has to make sure that he adheres to the policies and the principles of ALP and the best practices in the company. So all farmers are trained, sensitized on the dangers of green tobacco sickness. That is why every farmer knows what time to go to the field, and he must put on protective equipment.
Compliance with occupational safety and health standards is intended to protect farmers and enhance their productivity. This is expected to lead to improved level of income earnings and a motivation for stopping child labor.
Alliance had been helping me, teaching me very many things about growing. So that's why they gave me the motorcycle, they promoted me. I was the best in 2015, 2016. So they gave me motorcycle, Mahindra I've got a grinding mill. I'm paying with my children to school. Others have gone to university. The benefits I have the cattle you have seen. I have the motorcycle. That's the benefit. Even myself, you have seen me. I'm just okay because I have money. Anytime I want anything, I just do it. Last year I got 10 million. In that year I got 15 million when I was given a motorcycle. But this year I was expecting to get more.
We normally advise farmers to harvest leaves which are ripe. How does the ripe leaves look like? It turns yellow-green, and even you check the mid-leaves become whitish. Even the apex will begin to dry. So this is what normally we advise farmers. When a farmer harvests a leaf which is ripe, the tobacco cures well. He gets the best quality of the cures. When it's harvested like this, we normally tell farmers to string them. This is called a phyto. We normally advise them to string back to back. Yeah. In a phyto, we advise farmers to do between 80 to 90 leaves, so that the leaves can have space, because this is barley. It is air cured tobacco, so there should be space. Yeah, there should be space so that wind can move freely and the tobacco dries. When it's string like this, then we tell the farmers to load. This is what we call a curing ban.
Alliance One is also promoting demand-based growing diversification approach by supporting tobacco farmers to invest in growing complementary crops besides tobacco farming. This is what is known as One Tomorrow.
One Tomorrow concept, it's about transforming a tobacco growing community to have a better living. In addition to the income they get from tobacco, we believe if they engage in growing other demand-based crop, they will be able to supplement the income they get from tobacco. They'll be food secured. That is what we want. So, and the income they get from tobacco, they get from other crops, we expect farmers to improve on their accommodations, on education, access to medical care. That is our vision. We want farmers, even if they have not gone to school, they should be able to get income that can make them have a better living. Demand-based growing can be maize, can be simsim, can be soybean, can be sunflower. Yeah, we want farmers should grow and they should be able to sell. How do they sell? Which means there should be market for those products. We don't encourage farmers just to sell. We link them to reputable companies that are able to buy from farmers. We tend to avoid the middlemen. As you can see, this it's almost at the drying stage. You can see it's almost drying. So most of the farmers they dry their crop from the field. Yeah. And like when it dries from the field, you can even see the quality. But sometimes farmers would harvest like this and they'll just go and drop it on the ground to dry.
There are also prospects for Alliance One to roll out One Tomorrow initiative into schools within the company's operation areas in the northern region of Uganda.
We intend to work with schools. For now, we are trying to collect information from 50 schools in the whole of northern Uganda, and we'd want to handle fortified food. We supply fortified food to those schools. But for now, we are still collecting information, and with time, we come up with an initiative on how we can roll out even One Tomorrow to different schools.
Employers, workers, community development officers, tobacco leaf inspectors and agriculture extension workers were trained in child labor monitoring and reporting using appropriate channels in Gulu and Omoro districts. The project also reached out to the respective district officials and political leaders to motivate them to effectively participate in the implementation process.
We are moving to the district officials and making them to know more about child labor issues and what the government is doing. And as we talk to them, we always tell them to plan so that they can incorporate child labor issues into the district work plans. That will make fighting child labor easier in Omoro and Gulu districts. We also involve the key political leaders in this campaign because we feel they have the influence. When we use them, when we sensitize them about child labor and we make them know about the ILO conventions, they will help us in the fight against child labor by talking to the local community and to the tobacco farmers in particular.
However, there's still a challenge to completely eliminate child labor, especially among poor-resource tobacco-growing communities.
Actually, I will not say no, but I may say yes. Actually, there are others, because mostly there are others who they stop their children. But if you go to tell them, you don't do this, you say, this is my children. But you tell that person slowly, then you understand. But most of the farmers here, they are taking what? Their children to school. But very few, I don't deny.
We are also training them on how they can work with the children. We are differentiating between child labor and then light work. They're supposed to give children light work. Children are supposed to go to school. Children are supposed to do light work like compound cleaning, slashing, and they are not supposed to be involved in tobacco gardens.
The Federation of Uganda Employers held social dialogue meetings at sub-county level with employers, cooperatives, farmers associations, and relevant public institutions. The main aim of this activity is to influence the mindset of workers, tobacco farmers, communities, and children on the themes of off-farm and on-farm income-generating activities and preventive measures against hazardous child labor in tobacco growing. Lead tobacco farmers in target communities were sensitized with respect to application of occupational safety and health procedure and good practices based on the evidence-based practical advice and to monitor children's activities on tobacco farms.
Most of the training we always get from Alliance One and the Federation of Uganda Employers. They always teach us very many areas of which it helps us. So they teach us how to use the goodness of using protective gear, the goodness of not using sign in the field, not only in tobacco, in other sector. Because some children, some farmers who does not grow even tobacco, if the granite is there, they stop the children. Even the time for rice, they stop the children to go and see what? The birds in it.
We have what they call ALP village committees. And these are committees that were empowered. They sensitize other farmers. And these committees, we facilitate them. This year, we're going to give them bicycles to help us monitor child labor, based on the interventions of Federation of Uganda Employers and Alliance One.
As a way of sharing lessons learned and good practices, learning visits with 10 key stakeholders were conducted. The stakeholders visited organizations involved in combating child labor to explore good practices which can be replicated in the project areas. In addition, lead tobacco farmers were able to share knowledge and information about child labor.
We always have meeting when we are there with farmers. We always tell them what even in the book where we have the contract, it is written there. But because those who are digging tobacco, they have not gone to school. We explain to them that this one means this one means this one. What a line does not want, what a line does not want. Even to other companies, since I'm the chairman, I always tell them that thing is not needed. using the children.
The main issue they have understood that the more the kid works in a tobacco garden, he has no time to go to school and even play. So if a kid has no time to go to school and maybe play, therefore his future is virtually destroyed. So most of our farmers have understood that a parent goes to work and a child goes to school.
Workshops for local media houses, both owners and prominent presenters and key political leaders were conducted in Gulu to raise awareness on the International Labour Organization Conventions 138, 182 and 184. The project equally conducted community conversation meetings on hazardous child labor and occupational good practices in tobacco. Besides, lead farmers conducted sensitization and awareness meetings to share knowledge and information about the good practices in stopping child labor.
Sometimes if there is a meeting, we always share with the farmers. And we are to tell them the badness of using the children.
Most of our farmers have understood that when you are growing tobacco, safety is number one. And then they go back to child labor as number two. Then they talk about income and work hours. So most of these farmers grow tobacco when they know that how much energy am I putting there? How much am I getting in at last? And this is giving us a more turn up of farmers next year. They have understood that when we handle child labor, handle safety, the next thing is to grow tobacco to earn money.
The Federation of Uganda Employers, Alliance One, and other child-focused program implementation stakeholders play a profound role in the celebrations of the World Day Against Child Labor. This provides an opportunity to reach out to the respective target groups with Stop Child Labor messages.
We have involved in the fight against child labor since 1999 with the support from the International Labour Organization. The Federation strongly believes that education and social dialogue are powerful tools which can be used for the elimination of child labor in all its forms in order to preserve the future labor force that this country needs.